people had been selling Tesla to buy NVIDIA. You think the best thing to do is to invert that because you've probably made a lot of money on NVDA.
Well, let's be clear, Sully. I'm long NVIDIA and I'm loading up here on Tesla. But I think you're absolutely right. When you look at NVIDIA, it's 3 times the size of Tesla from a market cap perspective. It's now the 3rd largest. But the parabolic move in NVIDIA, if you look at a chart here, just since January, up 50%. And this is not up 50% from where it was, cut in half in 2022. This is substantial. This was nearly $1 trillion company. Now to be up where it is, I think it can go from 750. It has to back and fill. So I think with earnings expectations, think about it, Sully. The earnings expectations for revenue for NVIDIA are over $20 billion. That's 3 times. That's 3x what it was just a year ago from Q4. So I think there's high expectations. I know they're printing money right now, but I think there's a pullback short term. You're seeing RSI levels overbought, but Tesla seems to be a different type of AI approach. And I know it's the Mag 7. It's not getting any love right now. It's about to trade 200 today, so we are seeing some buyer step in. But nonetheless, Sully, I think we have to understand there's huge opportunity in Tesla here, and I think you have to profit take in NVIDIA.
Yeah, and I want you don't want all we call them Teslarians. I guess what do we call the Nvidians? You don't want I think I just made that up. You don't want the Nvidians coming at you. You still love the company, but I get the mentality, which is, everybody's like, oh, drop Tesla. It's not Mag 7, it's Super 6 or Spectacular 6 or whatever name they want to employ to it. I get your take, and being a smart trader is trying to find the opportunity when other people are selling.
That's right, and I'm utilizing options to define my risk. I'm selling a risk reversal here in Tesla, selling the 185 March regular expiration, buying the 200 call. But I think you have to realize, just take a step back, Sully, not to get too wonky here, but from an AI perspective, I know we are really seeing Tesla viewed as more of a cyclical car company. I know it has a tech influence, but think of the spend. NVIDIA got a lot of press for buying SoundHound. They made a $4 million with an M. $1 million investment in that. Right now, this year in 2024, Tesla's going to spend $10 billion on their AI development. So I think from the longer play, I think you're going to see Tesla back and fill up to $300. You have to really put the emotion aside on Elon Musk. You never know what's going to happen or what tweet's going to come out. But I think from a true value, from a true trade perspective, this is a great pairs trade going in next Wednesday, where I think you will see a reprieve or a relent in the price of NVIDIA.
Jeff Kilberg, got a macro view on the markets right now? We just talked about 2 of the most important stocks that are out there, but do you have sort of a macro view? Are we ever going to see this broadening out that some people are talking about, that, all the 3,000 other public companies that exist will finally get a little love?
I think that it is coming, and I know Ryan Dietrich talked about this morning on Twitter about this small cap explosion. If you see a breakout in small caps, that's the breadth you're looking for. But bigger picture, Sully, we can grapple about when, or even talk about if, how many points are going to be cut. But we are going to see a rate cut this year in 2024 of 100 basis points, and that's coming. I don't care if it comes in March, May, or June, but that's coming. And that's why you saw those animal spirits that Kate referred to. You're seeing people trying to utilize that $8 trillion in cash. They're trying to get it to work because they've been chasing, and the bears continue to be in the hurt locker. That's just a fact. So I think there's more room to run to the upside. I think we're going to test back and fill here to this 49.50 level in the S&P 500, but we're going to make new highs, I think, next month.
Finally, someone on Wall Street is coming to their damn senses and actually endorses buying Tesla stock, saying that Tesla is actually a better buy than NVIDIA. Now, they didn't talk about this much in the clip, but notice on screen, he actually says that Tesla is a better long-term AI play than NVIDIA. And that's something I want to highlight here in this video because I think that's very important to understand. And this is really not something that's going to get a lot of attention right now, as you have SMCI and NVIDIA and these other hardware AI names that are doing very well, your GPU, your CPU providers. But one day, I would argue in 2024, or maybe 2025, the shift will occur where the markets look and say, hey, what company is providing the most real-world AI use case and value? And it's by far Tesla. I mean, I implore you, I'm counting on you to counter my argument here. What company makes a better use case for AI than Tesla? Than cars driving themselves, or a robot able to do your bitch work, if you will, or whatever work you don't want to do. I mean, there's crickets, right? What's bigger than cars driving themselves and humanoid robots to either replace workers if people don't want to get jobs, or to just do miscellaneous tasks you don't want to do, like the dishes, like push a vacuum around, just rake the leaves. Come on now, we would all love that. Something to rake those leaves. Yeah, that would be awesome. That's real world, real usage to AI. Now, that's obviously a distance down the line. Robots are not going to be raking your leaves anytime soon. I mean, your Tesla can actually drive you around right now. Sure, it's not perfect, but hopefully pretty soon it will be. V12 is offering some pretty good results so far, and it's only a matter of time before it is pretty much flawless. But here's some point in the near-term future, investors are going to say, where do we invest next? Once the GPU semiconductor phase is over with, then it's going to be, where do we invest next? What's the next big winner, or who's the next big winner with this AI revolution? And I have to agree with KKM. It's Tesla. I mean, I can't think of another company that makes a better use case. Now, I feel the need to make this video because I think this is the furthest thing from people's radar. But again, it will go first, GPU providers, semiconductor providers, they'll have their time, and their time will go. Their time has already happened. Probably coming next Wednesday, you see a little bit of a reset. Question is, do things continue from there after a pullback in NVIDIA? I don't have the answer to that. Then next, it's going to be likely data center kind of related companies, more so the second tier of AI. And then it's going to become real use cases for AI. You could make an argument that after the semiconductor route is over with and people move on, maybe it could be Tesla, it could be a company like a Datadog, other different kinds of second tier players, not necessarily everyone crowding into data center plays or necessarily crowding into real use case AI trades. But inevitably, I think in 2024, if not 2025 at the bare minimum, or the latest, I should say, you're probably going to see this shift. Now, Tesla is going to be a little bit different, in my opinion, than something like an NVIDIA or supermicro computer. Real use case AI is going to have a long stage of adoption. So it's not going to all happen at once. NVIDIA is seeing a lot of demand being pulled forward, and that's why NVIDIA has given us such strong earnings, which will likely be 4 quarters in a row coming this upcoming Wednesday. It's all getting pushed to the front. So eventually there will be a lull, and potentially NVIDIA will have to run down inventories. We're far from that right now. But the point is, once you buy these $35,000 GPU clusters and you have a full rack of clusters, millions and millions of dollars worth, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars worth, it's not like you need to replace those all the time, right? And a lot of companies are going to opt to just keep what they have, because I think a lot of companies are realizing it really doesn't take that much computing power to, run the tasks that they are trying to run. So NVIDIA, for an example, will always have demand for their GPUs, but it's probably not going to be this aggressive forever, essentially, right? Eventually, demand will slow down. Eventually, it will just be, hey, one of our GPUs went out, let's go buy another one. Right. Whereas Tesla, there is 8 billion people on this planet. The world is moving into a more developed stance. Every single person in the world could benefit from a fully autonomous humanoid robot in some capacity or another, whether it's yard work, housework, or any other use cases that can arise with a humanoid robot. And then not to mention cars driving themselves and the potential that could be. My point is that Tesla's probably not going to see all of the growth come all at once like NVIDIA. So Tesla's stock, just given the TAM, the total addressable market of AI that Tesla is pursuing, is so much larger than anything else any other company has to offer. Nothing can even come close to Tesla and the scale that they are trying to achieve. Tesla's not just trying to provide GPUs to large companies that can afford them. Tesla is trying to revolutionize the auto industry and how cars actually drive. That is on a preposterously larger scale than Nvidia, than other companies. And then you want to add Optimus in there, and I mean, you're literally off the charts. You're addressing every single person in the world. There's a total addressable market that is potentially limitless. Yes, limitless. That's what Elon said on the last earnings call, that GDP could essentially be unlimited, because what is GDP? It is productivity and measured by cost, right? So if you have infinite productivity because you have humanoid robots, then essentially you could have infinite growth and infinite productivity. It may take a while for the markets to realize that, but I think once the markets do realize that, you are going to be assigned a fat premium on Tesla. Now, I think it's also important to remember that Tesla is already a highly profitable company. So Tesla is going to be looked at a little bit different than, let's say, a Datadog or some other company that maybe is not as profitable as Tesla. You could value Tesla on a PE basis, right? So let's take, for an example, NVIDIA's trailing 12-month PE. NVIDIA's trailing 12-month PE is 96. Now, the question really is at that point, what is the PE going to be for Tesla by the end of this year? That's what I want to focus on over the next, 10 months or so. What's the PE going to be for Tesla? And how profitable is Tesla going to be? Now, we've heard that Tesla is looking to potentially lay off some of their workforce. If that is the case, unfortunately, for, those individuals that do get laid off, that's bad, right? You should never root for people to get laid off, but in a capitalistic world, that is what happens at the late stage of a business cycle. And that's where we're at right now. That will boost Tesla's EPS. So if Tesla did $3.67 of EPS last year, let's say Tesla does not cut prices anymore. Let's say by the end of this year that Tesla can actually see price increases on their vehicles. Maybe the cost to manufacture vehicles continues to come down, and it's been coming down aggressively over the past couple of quarters. Let's say Tesla lays off 5-10% of their staff, probably around 5%, maybe even 3% of their staff, since Tesla has 140,000 workers or so. 3% would still be like, 8,000, 9,000 workers or so. Let's say overall, Tesla's able to grow their EPS by 30% year over year. That would be an extra $1.10 of EPS. Now, I actually think this is quite reasonable. I actually think that should be quite easy to do, especially in the back half of 2024. You can get more conservative with this, because that would be, $4.77 of EPS for 2024. That would be what? Like $1.19 or so per quarter throughout all of 2024. It's really not a long shot or moonshot at all. That's actually pretty realistic in my personal opinion. But if you wanted to get a little bit more conservative, like Tesla should have literally no problem at all doing 20%. That would be a boost of about 73 cents. So add that back to $3.67, and you'd be at about $4.40 per share. So we'll work with that. Let's say, just because, Tesla's multiple can get to a similar ratio as Nvidia. Let's call it 90. Tesla's multiple gets back to 90. Boom, you're a $396 stock by the end of this year. Now, ultimately, I think the multiple can go way higher than that on Tesla because of the total addressable market Tesla's AI will have. I think the markets will realize that no other company possesses what Tesla has at the stage in which Tesla has it. I mean, Tesla's cars are literally already driving themselves. Already driving themselves. I mean, Tesla's already proving that it can do this real world AI and create functional real world AI. But even like this individual was saying here, I mean, Tesla's investing $10 billion in 2024 into its AI endeavors. Tesla has a fortress of a balance sheet and plenty of cash to continue to invest aggressively. Now, I think we are in the very early innings of what this will become in terms of the actual technology with Tesla and the share price appreciation. It's one of those things where Wall Street just doesn't get it until they get it. And when they get it, it's going to be a rapid appreciation in Tesla stock. Now, you can also make an argument that you could have a central catalyst that could cause this eye-opening kind of jaw-dropping moment for Tesla AI, potentially a licensing deal for FSD technology. That could be something that could happen. Maybe then everyone would say, wow, this is really here to stay. Or it could be something else. And as you guys know, I'm very, very bullish on AI. But I think the semiconductor sector of this AI longer term trade is probably close to over with. And I do think Tesla's is just beginning. So personally, yeah, I am buying as many shares of Tesla as I possibly can, and even going to look out at some longer duration options. In fact, let's just go ahead and buy 5 more shares here right now, filled at 201.88. This is, small relative to the overall position, but honestly, I hope it takes a long time for the markets to realize this potential and this opportunity with Tesla, because as you can see with other companies, when the markets get a taste of what AI can be and what it will be in the future, look at SMCI. I mean, look at Nvidia, right? It will go quick at some point down the line. The longer it takes, the more potential profits, more potential shares you can acquire, potentially the more profit that you will see down the line. This is not personalized financial advice. Do what you guys want to do. I am doing what I want to do, and I really strongly believe it's only a matter of time. And I have to be honest, it is a little reassuring to see someone in the hedge fund institutional sphere actually pointing out the obvious here, right? Long Tesla, short Nvidia. He actually said in that clip as well that a lot of money has left Tesla and went into Nvidia. I found that interesting because that's something I've been talking about. And coming next Wednesday when Nvidia reports earnings, I think that, could start to reverse and more money could start to go back into Tesla. Now, again, think about this on a more logical level as well. Even here in the near term, unfortunately, I don't think Tesla is going down any lower from here, unless we go into some kind of recession, because simple fact is Tesla is priced for bad news. SMCI, Nvidia, these names that are high flyers right now, they are priced for absolute perfection, and then they're priced for perfection on top of perfection because these companies have been beating on earnings and raising guidance. So the expectations are a lot higher than what the actual numbers are. In other words, you're likely set up for disappointment at some point down the line here, whereas Tesla is priced for just bad news overall. So my son unplugged the cord, so the light is gone. Let me know what you guys think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day and nights, and I will see you in the next one.